So, new bash site with the here with the Voltz. It's the local athletics field, and there's just this bank here that I want to try and learn how to jump the Voltz on. I've got a new rear shock position set up. I've got the new ludicrous 8,000 milliamp hour batteries, 4S 8,000 milliamp hour 150C batteries. So I just bring it back down here and give it a... I never jumped it before. I can already feel that the rear shock setup is a lot nicer, a lot smoother. It's working well. I'll show you what I've done. Basically, I've just moved. I had the shock forward, I've moved it back, and I've eased off some of the collar that I had on there. Sorry, I'm just going to check that I'm actually recording. It's a new camera. Yeah, I am. Sorry, bit of YouTube gold. So, start again. Sorry, just need to check that it was actually recording. New bash spot, nice little grass jump. I've moved the rear suspension mount, so I've got a much more vertically angled rear suspension, which should give me a little softer, plusher rear end. I felt that on the last, oh yeah, it's a lot. This is a higher grip surface, however, it is more rolly. So the rear end is a lot looser. But it seems to be a lot plusher. Anyway, just learning how to drive it a bit. That part of the bank is not great. I'm going to go back to this part. Oh, I bet I couldn't hit that again. The car jumps beautifully. Oh, you just wouldn't get that kind of mid-air balance from a conversion. You'd have all your battery weight up front, or you know, you'd have things going on. I know people have knocked this Voltz for being geared in completely the wrong way, and actually I completely agree. It is geared stupidly. Why would you gear it for basically 8S when you're using a 12S ESC? Just doesn't make sense. The gearing is ludicrous. Having said that, the car is purpose built and the balance is just wonderful. It is heavy, but it's built like a tank. And the balance up and down this bank and in the air, it's lovely, it's predictable. It's really nice. Ooh. That was a bigger jump. Let's just do a little bit on temps. Oh, stopping it is an issue. Man, this thing's heavy. ESC's all right. Batteries are all right. Motor's all right. We're all right. I mean, to be honest, this thing, when I drive it, you know, it does feel a bit experimental. I do think to myself, chings, what's going to happen if I break this one? You know, you need to make contact with FID in China, but then I buy a lot of my parts, GPM parts, from China anyway. And in getting stuff shipped over from China. Oh, and that is the end of it. My goodness me. That was crazy. Look at that. I'm hoping that this is one of those moments where it looks terrible, but actually all you've done is lost the front hinge pins. But that, guys, wow. And that is exactly what has happened. The hinge pins on both sides have snapped. These are weak areas. The hinge pins, I've seen people say this. A hinge pin is snapped on that side, for sure. I can see it, clearly see it. And this side has got the largest divot in it, my goodness. And this side is also snapped. Let's just lift it up. Yeah, 2 snapped hinge pins. A-arms are not split, A-arms are fine, but we have got 2 snapped hinge pins, suspension pins at the front here, snapped. That one's snapped there, and that one's done exactly the same. Wow. Wow, I did not expect that, because this is grass, it's soft. Wow. That's really, really gone wrong there. Like proper not right. Don't know where my hinge pins have gone. We'll try and find them. There's the divot, look. I mean, it is a substantial divot, and that's got to be 4 inches deep. I was going reasonably fast and I just couldn't get the nose up. Bad piloting, but people who have this car have all said you can come unstuck with the hinge pins in the front end. And that's exactly what's happened here. So that is the end of the bash, guys. That is it. job done. Got to get that back to the workshop and get these hinge pins replaced. Crazy days. Crazy days. Catastrophic failure. But anyway, it's I think it's just hinge pins. I'll let you know from the workshop. I don't think anything else has hurt, so I'll let you know. Well guys, I have to say that this thing is built like a tank. It really is. The build quality is excellent. It's just a bit heavy and it's geared funny, but I've rescued the front hinge pin. There's a little bit slight superficial damage to it. It's going to be good as gold. That sits in there, and it, you know, it came away with just 2 screws at the bottom of this. This lifts up. You can get right in here. What's it called? They just pop off. I've taken the booties off here because, I don't know, I just don't like boots on drive shafts like this. I like to see if there's wear going on. I like to see it, you know. I don't like it hidden. But it's all ready to go back in. I think even this A-arm will work just fine. It's been a bit pinched at the front, but the rest of it looks to be all right down the tube there. So anyway, you know, if it goes, it goes. I'll get a replacement anyway. And we'll go from there. We'll get a few parts from RC Models. So it's not over very long for the FID Dragon Hammer. It's going to be no hassle getting it back and getting it driving again. But it's a cool piece of kit. Honestly, for the price point, you cannot beat this truck. It just it just needs some. Yeah, you need to know how to drive it, that is for sure. But any big fixed axle car, it's not like rear end independent wishbone suspension. When you're driving a big fixed axle car, even an Axial Yeti or a Yeti XL or this thing, you just have to drive it different. There's a lot of rolling that goes on. You know, a lot of traction roll, they call it, with the tires digging in and it rolling over. But once you do get the hang of driving it, and on loose material, these things just come alive. They really do. But anyway, enough. I'm banging on about it. It's going to get fixed easy. Peace. I know other guys have also said that these things are pretty rubbish. So I'll find an alternative. There is an alternative that fix. I've read something somewhere, I just need to find it, but you can even see that there's a bit of rust and corrosion inside that stainless steel pin. It's a pretty cheap looking pin. Mind you though, the pin's failed and the rest of the car's okay. So, you know, having a weak link is a decent thing to do. But anyway, I've ordered 2 sets of spares, so if I do it again I can quickly make the change, and I'll try and research as to who does a kind of more hardened steel hinge pin that I can stick in there. Yeah, anyway, snap them like a twig.